Hello guys, welcome back to my channel. Guys, in previous session we saw like how to validate a particular POJO. Apart from that, we saw class level validation, parameter level validation, and code approach. We saw these three things in last session. Guys, in this session I am going to show you very interesting part or thing in Spring Boot here. Guys, we know that we are going to handle the exception in different ways. Like we are going to use a try catch to handle the exception. Apart from that, we use throw throws keyword will be there wherever we required to raise any exception. So we are going to use the throw throws keyword and raise the exception. Okay, but in Spring Boot we have different mechanism to handle the exception. So we can handle that exception at the centrally, and we can throw that or we can reuse that exception or throw that exception at from anywhere in the application. So this is the way we can do in a Spring Boot. So let me show you like in programmatically how you can create the centralized exception mechanism, centralized exception handling mechanism here. So which annotation we require to handle these exceptions. Okay, so let's start here. So guys, as you all know, like we have this API like get all student, then add student will be there, then apart from that we have delete student. So in this API we are going to raise some throw some exceptions, and we will handle that exception in centrally. Now let me go to the IntelliJ here. Okay, so let me show you the controller. So these are the three APIs. So this is a get API, delete API, and post API to the post the student detail into a database. Okay, now let's see the or let's come to the actual point. So that is the centralized exception handling mechanism. Okay, now if you can see guys, so this is a delete student. So where we have one request param, that is the roll number. Suppose in case, okay, suppose in case, so that that roll number client should pass roll number is empty or any unmatching value, okay, or anything client can pass. So to avoid this kind of things, we need to check that roll number content, what content client has sent. So we need to validate that thing. Okay, so how you can do that? So you need, before going to delete that uh, roll number student, so we need to check whether that student is available or not, or roll number student is there or not. So these all things we need to check here. So let's check how to check it. So you can use same thing here. Okay, so this is the same code I am going to paste here. So this will like create the stream filter, and on the filter, in the filter we iterate the student and check the it should not equal to roll number, but I remove that not sign here. Now let's see, find the first student here. If it is equal, then we will definitely get the one student. So and what I did, I just get that first index student here. Okay, and after that we can directly, if it is a present, then okay, if it is not present, throw an exception. So I'm going to throw an exception by using the or else throw method. Okay, now let's throw an exception. Which exception throw need to be? So I'll be going to throw the illegal argument, because we are not passing the correct argument, that roll number. Okay, that is like is not correct, we can say. So this is the exception I raised from here. I first check whether that roll number is present inside the student list or not. If it is not present, then throw an exception. Okay, so this is a way you can use to throw an exception. Let me do something here. Okay, okay, fine, that's all. Now let me restart the application. and just check the things whether this illegal argument is thrown or not. Okay. So what we did here, we throw that exception from here. But where you handle that exception, you need to add some logic to handle that exception. Okay, let me first show you like how this exception will get delegate. Let me give some random things here, because we have these three student inside the database only. If we give any other roll number, then it should throw an exception. See, we are getting the internal server error. Okay, we are getting we got what we got the internal, because we didn't handle that exception. If we see the logs, in log that exception got printed. See, illegal argument, roll number. We need this information. That's for that we need to handle that exception somewhere. Then how to handle this exception? So we can use the centralized mechanism, centralized exception handling mechanism. How to do that? So let's go to the package and create one more package, that is exception. Inside it we can create some centralized exception classes. Okay, central exception handler. I'm going to create the one class that name is central exception handler. Okay, so this is the class. Fine. Now let me annotate this class, or let me make this class as a centralized exception handler. Then how to make this class as a centralized exception handler? So yeah, there is one annotation, so we can use that annotation to make this class as a centralized exception handler. Okay, so which annotation we can use? We can use @rest controller advice annotation. See, this annotation is combination of the three or four annotations. So if you can see @target, retention, documented, and this two important like controller advice and response body. These two annotations are required. So in Spring MVC application, we mainly use this controller advice to return the view or error pages. Apart from that, we use this response body to send the POJO or any valued object to the client. Okay, so this is the way. Now apart from that, let me rename that. Okay, fine. So I renamed this central exception handler. Fine. Now, so this is the handler class we created. Rest controller handle like rest controller advice annotation. So which will like a delegate, or we can say this is kind of an introduction to the Spring Boot application. So to identify the class handler class, central handler exception handler class. Now let me add some exceptional exception handler methods. Then okay, let me add it one method here. Okay, so return type is a response entity, so easily we can add some status code, or we can return some messages with the response entity here, like throw. Let me give the name some throw or a resource not found exception. Okay, so this kind of exception we are going to throw. Now we need to set the parameter. Okay, which exception you want to handle by using this handler method. I want to handle the illegal argument exception, because I have thrown that exception from there. Let's return that response entity here. Let's return the message first. Which message I thrown at the time of throwing that exception. This message we are going to capture here, and status code as a http status code not found. Okay, so this is the things we can. Now I want to make this method as a handler method. How we can do? So there is one annotation we can use, that is the exception handler method. Okay, and inside it you need to pass the handler class. Which class you are going to, which exception you are going to handle. So this class you need to pass it. So that's all guys. Okay, let me restart the same application and let's see the result at client side. What we will get the proper message. So what message we set here? We said here, let me, okay, so what we said here, we said roll number is not found. Okay, roll number is not, till now what we are getting 500, but we don't want this message, we want proper message here. So because we here we didn't handle this exception till now, but now we handle this exception by using the centralized exception handler. Okay, so by using the rest controller advice and by using the exception handler, now I want to get the, I need, so I should get this proper message here. Okay, let me see whether application getting started on, yeah, application got started upon this 44 to port number. Okay, let me hit the same error. See, we are able to handle the centralized exception mechanism. Okay, handle this exception by using central. This is the roll number and roll number is not correct. Now let me go back and change some messages here. I'll return some details, more extra details like toString. So toString will return the description of the exception and some that exception name as well. Let me restart the application. Parsing has been started here. Okay, let's wait for a couple of seconds to start the application. Yeah, it started. Yeah, okay, it's started. Let me go and throw and go and hit the same API here. See, toString method return the that exception name with the description. That's all. So we got the proper here. Correct. Now what we saw here, we saw like how to handle the exception handler, how to handle the exception properly here. Now I want to make this method universal. How you can do? You can give the parent class. Okay, you can handle the parent class things. Now if anything happen, so it come to here and from this here, so it will throw back to the client. Let me show you again this thing. See, illegal exception argument, this is a child of exception. Now let me go back and yeah, wait, we have validation implementation as well. So let me send a null here. Let's see what we are getting. See, we got a bad request because we are sending, we are not yeah, it will restrict. Correct, so it will not send the request to that particular UI because we are sending the wrong details, so it will not allow. But see, as you saw here, so we can able to handle the exception by using the centralized exception mechanism. So how you can create, create the centralized exception handler class, you can use this rest controller annotation, advice annotation here. Apart from that, if you want to use this, like if you want to create some handler method, you can use this exception handler annotation, and you need to pass the class name, which class you want to handle the exception. So these things. Okay, apart from that, this is a parameter, so which exception you are going to handle, and return that exception details like exception toString and then your data score. So this is a way you can handle. So no need to use the try catch here and handle that exception. So you can just throw that exception from the code. The centralized exception mechanism is responsible to take that exception, handle that exception, and send the proper message to client. Okay, so that's all guys. So this is the way you can use to handle your exception in centralized mechanism. Okay, that's all. Thank you for watching this.